Ba-da-da-da-bum. There's been a lot of gray in May. In San Diego, it's called May gray. It's our equivalent of winter. May gray and June gloom. I'm not complaining because other places have it way worse, like those who have to dig themselves out of snow. But it doesn't mean we don't have our downer days here in San Diego. May has been very interesting, although I don't even know if I updated you from April. In April, I got to paint all over San Diego. I got really busy and was doing a lot to the point of kinda getting a little tired. It happens if you don't pace yourself. I'm not gonna lie, for as much as I love doing what I do, I was starting to overdo it a little bit. I think when people spread themselves thin, they can't really do as good of a job as they want to do. My room is a wreck right now. So I had to learn the balance of pacing myself, of resting. I had my first diva moment. Jenna had a lot of patience and a lot of grace with me. It took me a while to set up my booth, and I just didn't know what I was doing beforehand, so I was doing it all as I went, and that made it really hard to delegate. At a certain point, she was like, how about I go get us iced coffee? And I was like, that would be rad. I just want a black iced coffee. No cream, no sugar, just black. I like it black. She comes back and she has this large iced coffee from Starbucks, and as soon as I took a sip, all I could taste was sugar. And my automatic response is, what is this? So yeah, maybe I overdid it a little bit, but you know, you learn as you go. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. It's a really humbling experience. Life's a dance. You learn as you go. Sometimes you lead and sometimes you follow. I guess we all have those moments, you know, ugly moments that catch us off guard when we're stressed or overwhelmed or hungry. When people are just trying to help, we get maybe more stressed out because we want to do it our way, but we don't know how to express how to help our way. Sometimes when someone tries to help, it ends up not being as helpful, and sometimes it is helpful and we just can't see it because we're caught up in what we don't want. Anyways, I apologized and we walked back to Starbucks together. We joked with the barista that our super high maintenance boss lady just refused to drink sweetened iced coffee, and then he started ripping on her being me, but he didn't know that. It's just really rad to have someone love you through the tough stuff and through your ugly moments. I didn't know I had diva in me either. I found it important to get back in touch with doing other things that I like to do, because there's so many things in life that you can do that are enjoyable. Forgot how much I like baking. Fold in chocolate chips. Chocolate chips are the most important ingredient. That was an aggressive fold, but it works. Have I ever mentioned that I used to be a chef at a preschool? Also known as a food artist. They called me the lunch lady. I used to get the kids' lesson plans and line them up with what I would make them for lunch so that they could still have another opportunity to learn while they ate. I know. My goal was to never make a sandwich, just a sandwich. It always had to look like something, a character or shape or theme or whatever it was they were learning that week. In fact, they really kind of got spoiled by what a sandwich actually looks like. What else do I like to do? All of this to say, I still find it super important to do whatever it is that you love and that makes you feel alive. But even with that thing, I would say, pace yourself. Make sure you take some time to rest. Don't lose sight of other people in the process. If you get to the point where you're being unkind to people just so that you can do a better job at what it is you want to do, you might want to re-examine why you're doing what you're doing. I mean, the world has plenty of people who act like jerks. The last thing that I want to do is be the next one. It's not worth creating the best piece of art if I'm going to bulldoze over people in the process. My last show that I had, I was so tired. Honestly, was just hoping to make enough money to pay rent. Before the show started, I was sitting in my car talking to God, because I do that from time to time. Just like, and you know, dude, if you wouldn't mind inviting some of your friends with cash, that would be awesome. I'd love for some people with cash to show up at the show. Halfway through the show, after not a whole lot of people could make it out to see me, I get it. When you do everything, not everyone can show up. A little tired, a little discouraged. The door opens and in runs this little boy that I babysit for sometimes. You know what his name is? Cash. Looks like his parents got the invite from God. I laughed to myself when I saw his parents walk in and I was like, yep, friends with Cash. You would, God. You would. He's funny like that. Anyways, as per usual, someone bigger than me knows better than me, and that was the perfect cash that I needed for that night, because my heart melted in a way that money can't melt it, and it revived a little bit of life back into me after feeling kind of discouraged. All that to say, back to the people thing. People matter, and they're important, and I just don't want to lose sight of them in this process. Don't get me wrong, I'm still creating art. I'm just not losing my heart in the process. I know, it's like a pizza. It's so cheesy, but so good. I'm learning how to balance it. It's not a step back, it's just a slower step forward. Pacing myself. And for as much as I love art, art doesn't ultimately win. At the risk of sounding like a very controversial book a few years back, love wins. Happy May. And if you're having a hard time, hang in there. Hard times happen. They're not forever. Even when they're long.